Alright there, folks. Welcome back to the show that never ends, my friend. This is Rick with R-TAC and Darters. And if you're new, we're talking about the 1911 A1. This specific model here was made in a licensed copy, 1927 in, you'll see that strange letters and the F map and the DGFN, and on this side here you'll say, some people say that the 10 millimeter is the best millimeter. Well, this is 11.25 millimeter, so would this be the best millimeter? It also is a product of Argentina, 1927 model, Argentina crest. This is not a what is it, a Balsteiner Molista, if that's how you pronounce it. This, my friends, is a licensed copy of the 1911 A1 Colt, made on Colt machinery that was shipped to Argentina in the early 1920s. I just got done cleaning it because I shot it today, since today is D-Day. So we'll do a little bit of cleaning here. I'll have to wipe it back down before I put her back up. I just noticed a couple spots there I need to take care of. Let's see here. Don't want oil your gun is great. Too much oil is bad. So, new time gun owners, if you're watching this, this is the same thing as a 1911 A1 Colt model, except this has some modifications to it. It is still an A1 model, but it has what's left of the original lanyard loop, which I can still put mine on there. And yes, I know I can get a replacement for it, but it wouldn't be original. And one of these days I might try to fix it, but it's not a big deal. Matter of fact, you're going to think I'm crazy on this, but up until last year, this was my duty weapon. And you'll be crazy, say, why are you carrying a 1911 for? It's outdated, or you're a boomer, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not a boomer. I was born in the 70s, so no, I'm not a boomer. Anyway, I love 1911. I love the way the gun feels in my hand. I shoot it extremely well. A lot of people do. It is my favorite handgun of all time. If I had to pick one handgun, it would be a 1911. It would probably be this one here. Now, like I said, I've done some modifications to it. Today is D-Day, June 6th. In 1944, 76 years ago, real Americans of all color, black, white, Latino, orange, yellow, Nisei Americans, Japanese Americans, Chinese Americans, Filipinos, everybody went to war, to fight for freedom across the world from fascist regimes. Real fascists, not the ones like, well, just like Antifa. Antifa is a fascist group, just like the Nazis, except the Nazis were national socialists, and the Japanese were empire, but they were fascists. The Italians were fascists. The Spanish were fascists as well. And, of course, we know the Russians were communists. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to get off the subject here too far. I want to get this done in under 10 minutes. So I took this old girl out. Now, this is not a U.S. 1911, but it is a copy, like I said. And it's still a Colt. Even though it was made in Argentina, it was made on Colt machinery. Kind of like the Taurus Berettas. The Taurus Beretta, Beretta sold them the machinery to make the Berettas. So as long as you're using good steel, you're going to have a quality weapon, and your quality controls things. So we got typical sights of the early 1920s. We have our gun is cleared and it is empty, as you can see. I just lubed that a little bit. So that's the side on this side here. Also, on these weapons here, you'll notice I got a full-length steel guide rod. That is not factory. That is a national match guide rod. This is a national match barrel bushing. We have extended magazine release, standard, single side, non-ambidextrous safety, and that's my preference because I'm right-handed, so I don't really care about that. Like I said, I carried this gun for 11 years as a duty weapon until I finally broke down and replaced it with my Glock 17. Doesn't mean I think the Glock is a better weapon. The Glock's a great weapon, and I own many of them, as you've seen on over my other videos. I am what I like to call myself is a gun connoisseur. I like all weapons. I like all handguns. They all have their specific roles, and they all have their functions and what they work best in. So, you know, the 1911 is a great pistol in my mind. It's a forgiving pistol. So this is, like I said, I upgraded this a little bit because I was shooting with it, or I was using it as a carry weapon, so I wanted the national match stuff in there. I do have a national match barrel for it. And the great thing about this pistol here, if you get one of these Argentine F-mats, MAAP or DGFM, I can't remember what those were. I used to know. These are fully compatible with 1911s. These are 1911 grips, 1911 parts all in it. And then the other reason why I hadn't changed the barrel out in it, because like in that spring and the recoil spring I got in here is stout mamma jamma. Anyway, like I said, I have like a shorter thumb there, so I love the extended release. But like on European pistols, the Argentine pistols, you notice we got the serial number on the frame, we got the serial number on the slide, and we got the serial number on the barrel. So this, and on top of the slide right here. So it's got, I just noticed that. I've owned this gun for 13 years now, and it's got the serial number on that, on the top of the slide, on the side of the slide, of course on the barrel, and on the frame. It doesn't have it on this side. So I didn't notice that. I just noticed that. Good God. Yes, you cannot replace the front sight on this, or it would have. The rear side, of course, you can knock out and you can drift. Again, old school. I love this gun. It shoots extremely well. I get it to shoot extremely well. It's a good gun. Since today is D-Day, I took the gun out to the range and I fired a couple rounds out of it. Here's the other thing too about this. It will take standard GI mags. Of course, you can see that says 45 auto Colt. It'll take your recent production, which would have been like in the 70s, 8-round magazines or 7-round magazines. Here is a one with the bump pad on it, and I think this is a Chip McCormick 8-round magazine. So you can put the bad boy in there with the bump stocks or the bump pad for your bottom of your magazine. That's an 8-rounder, and they drop free. Even the, I believe these do too. Here we go. Drop free. Drop free. That's what you want. Good drop free magazines. You can get magazines 7 and 8 rounds. You can get 10-round magazines. You can get 15-round magazines. Of course, they're going to stick out quite a bit. So this is a 7-round magazine. That's a 7-round. So basically, you're putting 2 7-round magazines together, and they're going to stick out. 8-round. You get 8-round magazines that will fit flush, just like the 7 rounds do. Now you can also change out the mainspring housing here, put a magazine flare well in there, and I was going to do that, but I decided that was way too much for what I wanted to do with this pistol, because I could always put it back to the original configuration with the original parts and take out all my national match parts. But the reason why I keep this weapon like it is now is because you all know, you've watched the videos before, I do World War II reenacting, and I use this gun for reenacting purposes. I have killed plenty of a Nazi with blank rounds with this gun. So, which is kind of funny since Argentina shielded and hid a lot of Nazis after World War II. So kind of funny that they adopted the 1911 in the 20s, which doesn't surprise me. It's a good pistol. Anything made by John Moses Browning is great, and you cannot tell me otherwise. You know, I've had, well, I haven't, but we have had the pleasure in the 20th century to have probably two of the greatest firearm designers ever to live at the same, well, in the same century. We look at John Moses Browning, his Winchester, his 1919 machine gun, the 1911, and even the last work he had was the high power Browning, which I had one a long time ago. And oddly enough, it was an Argentina copy of a high power Browning, and that thing was great. I wish I'd never would have got rid of it. We all have those guns we wish we never got rid of. This will be one that will never leave me. Matter of fact, it'll be buried with me. Because I love this gun so much. It's a great gun. Good recoil. Of course, they make all kinds of different barrels for these. All you have to do is have a 1911 frame. You can get a 40 barrel. You can get a 9mm barrel for it. You can change it to different caliber. They make them in different calibers. 38 Super is a really fast round. Back in the day, it's still a pretty good round now. I believe it's the only round that you can have in Mexico, because you weren't allowed to have in Mexico, and in some countries, France is another one. You can't have military calibers. So whatever the current military caliber is, you are not allowed to have guns chambered in that. So that's why, like in France, you'll see even the police, they like to use 357 Magnum revolvers. And they were slow to adopt semi-automatics. In Mexico, they like 38 Special. Not 38 Special, I'm sorry, but 38 Super, which this gun will fire 38 Super. This gun will fire 9x23 Winchester, 9mm Largo. Matter of fact, I've done a video on a Spanish clone of the 1911, which is in 9mm, and it started out as in 9mm Largo, which is slightly bigger than 9mm. So, good, this gun has probably one of the best known and documented histories of firearms, other than the 9mm Luger pistol and the Glock 17. And the Walther P38 are probably the four most influential pistols of the early 20th century, and then on the on the part of it would, and then on the later half of the 20th century, it would be the CZ75 and then the Glock 17. Great little pistol, great big pistol. It does weigh some heft. It does got that nice trigger. It is nice. There's no take up on it. Look right here, right there. We're right there right now. There's how much take up you got on this, and then boom, you go. Also, first time gun owners, if you have a 1911, this is a grip safety. To me, this is the only gun that it's acceptable to have a grip safety on it, because John Browning put it on there. And the only reason why he put that on there was because the Army wanted it, or it never would have had that on there. And then it would have been even better, but you get used to it. So you must squeeze it. So here we go. You have a half cock position on here if you didn't know that. And you can't put your safety on. You can only put your safety on the full cock. So this is where you get locked, cocked, and ready to rock from boomers and stuff like that. Which again, I love this weapon, and I say it all the time. For this gun to fire, you must it does have 3 safeties. Safety 1, safety 2, safety 3. And you'll say, how is the muzzle a safety? Well, let me show you. So if you take the main safety off and you don't squeeze the grip, it will not fire. This grip must be squeezed for the gun to fire. See that? Watch. Here we go. I've got the trigger pulled, and then it fired. See how that is? That must be pushed in. So you got to have a good grip on it to fire the weapon. Now the next thing is if you push it out of battery. So let's see here, like that right there. All you have to do is push it out of battery a little bit. So you don't want to take out any automatic. Matter of fact, and take it and go jamming it in somebody's side like that, because you push it hard enough, just takes a little bit, and then for it to fire, you got to release it and watch. Now they'll shoot. So yeah, so don't ever stick a muzzle in somebody's gut, and God knows if you do, make sure it's a good shoot and that you're defending yourself. So anyway, I don't have a problem with carrying this gun locked and cocked. I've done that for 13 years that I carried it every day. So again, good gun. It won't go nowhere. This is also considered a Series 70 pistol, so it doesn't have the drop safety added in there like the Series 80 pistol does. Supposedly you can drop these at a certain angle, kind of like a SIG P320, and it will go off. I've had this gun loaded, and I have unfortunately dropped it a time or 12, and it's never gone off. But when I did do it, it had blanks in it. Still dangerous. Good. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about 1911. You can't go wrong with a 1911. This gun, you know, if you want to, it is tighter than a Virgin on prom night because I got all those natural match parts in here. If I put the factory parts back in there, then it still won't shake. You know that it won't shake. This gun's over 70 years. This gun's 80 plus years old. That's as much noise you're going to get out of it. That's it. And then you don't get nothing with the hammer down or with the slide home. Look at that. You know, you'll hear stories. Grandpa used to tell me stories when he was in the Korean War. He said, my 1911 would shake, rattle, and roll, but it still fired and didn't have a problem with it. Those guns were wore out. No doubt. Even the ones that some of the guys had in Vietnam wore the hell out. But you know what? They worked. It was a good design. You could even probably call it the AK of the pistol world, where it would just rattle and shake and run. Now, some of these guns can be made to extremely tight tolerances, and they will be jam-o-matics. But you gotta look what you got there. Do you got a Ferrari or do you got the work truck? This is a work truck. This is not a custom Nighthawk $4,000 1911. Does it shoot just as good as it? I don't know. I'd have to shoot a custom Nighthawk to tell you. If I ever did shoot one, I would compare it to this if I ever got the chance to see what kind of accuracy this one has versus that. You know, the custom gun, those high dollar 1911s will have this. On the surplus market now, these things will probably go around $750 to $1,000, depending on shape. This one right here, I'd say is around the $1,000 mark. It has most of it's got 95% of its bluing. You see the holster wear I got right there on it, and that's just from carrying it for years. It's got a little bit of patina coming right there, but again, that's from carrying it. So again, not bad. Good. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and a subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a lot because our goal is to get to 500. We do have a 500 giveaway. At the recording of this video, we were at the 490 subscriber mark, so we got 10 more to go. The 500 giveaway is a 308 kit, which we're going to add a delta ring assembly to it and a charging handle. So you'll have a nice opportunity to build yourself a 308 AR-10. So please like and subscribe to the channel. We're over on Instagram, Facebook, Gunstreamer. We'll have to manually upload videos to Gunstreamer now. I usually do that once a month. We got a Teespree. You can find all our social media links on our header page in the lower right hand corner. You just go there and click on it and it'll take you right to all of our pages. We appreciate you guys watching our videos and subscribing to the channel. That means a lot to us, and that'll help us get us to go to 1,000 subscribers and to be monetized. The reason why I say that is because with the anti-gun establishment on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all over the place, the ad revenues that they'll have to share with our channel will go to buy us some ammo. So, and then we'll do a story on that where I'll go to the guns. It'll be funny. We'll go to the gun store. I'll cash it and take the first YouTube check and buy us a box of ammo. So that's the whole deal there. We do other content. We do some tactical stuff occasionally, not as much as I like. We're going to get into World War II now here coming September. We're still going to do a couple more videos on In Between the Rifle, or In Between the War, our rifle series that we're doing on this. This gun would count in between the wars, even though this one was made in the 1920s. So it's in between the wars, so it'll count for that episode there. It also would count for our World War I gun and our World War II guns. We may do a Korean War series, and we may do we'll probably definitely do a Vietnam era series, and a Cold War, basically. We'll do a Cold War series, because a lot of guns from World War II were really dope. So I've rambled on too long, and thank you guys, and remember, it costs nothing to be nice to one another, and please stay safe and don't loot and riot. There's no need for that. I support the protesters when they're doing it peacefully, but when you cross the line to loot and riot, you've lost my support. So, like I said, stay safe, and it costs nothing to be kind to each other, and we'll catch you next time.